If you've seen one of the powerful undead abominations lurking in ruins and caves throughout Oblivion known as a Lich, or if you've stumbled upon the nefarious order of the Black Worm, then you've seen a small glimpse of the power wielded by the second era necromancer named Mannimarco. This legendary Altmer played a huge role in shaping the political landscape of Tamriel across multiple eras, and even achieved immortality through the manipulation of deadly magic. He is also known as the Worm King and founded the Order of the Black Worm. In this video, we'll be giving you a quick rundown of the life this terrible. Mannimarco was born sometime around the Second Era 210th year, and while his exact lineage remains a mystery, it is believed he was of royal bloodlines, most likely to a prominent family in the Somerset Isles. Mannimarco's magic potential was realized when he joined the Psijic Order on Artaeum. It didn't take long for him to prove himself one of the greatest students the Order had ever seen. And that was coming from a group responsible for raising all of the Altmer's best mages, so it was no small feat. His skill was only rivaled by his fellow student, Galerian, who would later become Mannimarco's chief antagonist. At some point during his education, something led Mannimarco down a dark path, and he commenced studying necromancy. The secrets of this school of magic fascinated him. He was eventually seduced by the malevolent possibilities to enslave and trap souls. Galerian attempted to show Mannimarco the light, confronting him under the Sepura Tower and saying, "Your wicked mysticism is no way to wield your power. Your studies must cease because you only bring horror to the spirit world." But as you probably guessed, Vanis's virtuous words were ineffective on the power-hungry necromancer. Mannimarco was so engrossed by his new pursuits that the leader of the Psijic Order exiled him from the path and sent him back to the mainland. That didn't stop him, however. Mannimarco's power attracted the darkest wizards and witches from across the continent of Tamriel, and with such support he founded the Order of the Black Worm. The Order of the Black Worm, which became known colloquially as the Worm Cult, acted as Mannimarco's means to stretch his dark grip across Tamriel. His followers and servants would bring him cursed artifacts and gifts. These tomes, enchanted weapons and armor, blood-tainted herbs and oils, Akaviri poisons, and other ominous items were absorbed by Mannimarco. The individual powers replaced his life energy with dark energy, and with each cursed item he added to his arsenal, his life power grew in tandem. Mannimarco soon came under the service of the Daedric Prince of Domination and Enslavement, Molag Bal. Their most ambitious ploy came about as the result of this partnership, as Tamriel was thrust into a struggle to hold off the threat of the Dark Anchors. Under Molag Bal's guidance, Mannimarco deceived the Five Companions, a group tasked with locating the Amulet of Kings, into weakening the barriers between Nirn and Oblivion, allowing Molag Bal to strike, sending his forces to invade the mortal realm. Molag Bal created machines designed to function like the anchor of a ship, connecting his own realm of Cold Harbor with Tamriel. With such malicious forces at play, treachery was always going to rear its head, and Mannimarco fully intended to betray the Daedric Prince. When Bal tried to merge Tamriel with Cold Harbor, Mannimarco's plan was pretty much to say, "I'm not locked in here with you, you're locked in here with me," trapping Molag Bal and absorbing his essence. But it wasn't going to be all that simple. Mannimarco needed the Amulet of Kings, and in order to get it, he needed the help of Abner Tharn, the Chancellor of the Elder Council, who would soon betray him in kind. Mannimarco sacrificed an individual who would later become quite important, known as the Vestige, to Molag Bal, and he stole his soul. This Vestige did not go down easy and repeatedly foiled Mannimarco's attempts to get his hands on the amulet. As events transpire, Molag Bal reveals to the Vestige that he knew of Mannimarco's intentions, and as a result chose to drag him down to Cold Harbor, where he would be tortured for an eternity by the undead. But in typical fashion, Mannimarco defies those who wish him ill will, and he escapes back to Tamriel. When Mannimarco resurfaced in Tamriel, his old nemesis Galerian was prepared. He had built an army of mages and lamp knights to take down Mannimarco's necromancers. Galerian gave Mannimarco the chance to surrender, but Mannimarco only scoffed at the notion, and then the great battle was underway. Their forces waged war until, when Galerian's forces emerged victorious, in order to avoid death, Mannimarco channeled his necromantic powers to turn himself into the first ever Lich. Galerian died in the battle, but his name and legacy lived on. Mannimarco proceeded to go into hiding at Scourge Barrow in the Dragontail Mountains, close to Elac Bay. Despite his seclusion, he was still able to manipulate the mages who sought him out into influencing political events in the region. He was frequently visited by the hero of Daggerfall, and Mannimarco attempted to have the totem of Tiber Septim given to him by the hero. After gaining control of the totem, Mannimarco used the resulting warp in the west to achieve divine power, and he ascended to godhood. By the Third Era, 433, the Revenant, or the Necromancer's Moon, Mannimarco's divine form became the patron god of necromancers across Tamriel. During the Oblivion Crisis, a powerful Altman necromancer claiming to be Mannimarco himself, despite being neither Lich nor god, appeared. Whether he was legitimate or not is unknown, but what we do know is that he was struck down by the hero of Kvatch. Subscribe to FudgeMuppet and hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. We absolutely love making these lore videos, and there are so many incredible characters in the history of Elder Scrolls to study. If you want to see more, show your support. Also check out the description for links to our social media accounts where you guys can interact with us directly. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'm Scott, and I'll see you in the next one.